What up, world? EstablishedRich coming right back at you. Vic Mensa can trace his family directly back to Ghana, and that's a beautiful thing for him. But that don't give him the right to tell Camron what he gotta call himself.
I saw Camron saying he's not an African and Africa stinks.
I'm not African. Sin went to Africa and told me people stink.
Now, obviously, this is ridiculously disrespectful and ignorant, but I love Killer. So let's approach this empirically. Why don't we do a history of the name Camron Giles? Giles is a medieval French name originally used by the followers of a one Saint Giles, a nigga that looked like this. Not exactly a striking resemblance, even if you put him in a pink fur. On the other hand, there were plenty of slaveholders named Giles. Written records trace the human beings they enslaved to Africa, oftentimes referring to them as Coromantese if they was from modern-day Ghana, Mandingos if they were from the Sahel, Igbos if they were from modern-day Nigeria. But clearly, the name Giles was passed down from someone who enslaved Africans. Now, if modern science places human beings at 300,000 years old and the oldest archaeological evidence of Homo sapiens is in Africa, Morocco, South Africa, Ethiopia, then I'll struggle to understand how 500 years here erases 299,500 years in Africa. Culturally, you resonate with America. Fine, that's a nationality. You may have European or indigenous blood, but your ancestral origin is overwhelmingly African. Take a DNA test. You tell me what it says. I can see Killer being like Cherokee, but you finna have a lot of Nigeria in there, my guy. Now, don't get mad at me because I love Cam. But like, Africa stinks, come on.
This is where Vic loses me, because he is taking his personal connection to Africa and acting like we all gotta see it the same way. Vic's father is from Ghana. He grew up with Ghanaian family, music, culture, and he has talked openly about going back to Ghana since he was a child. So when Vic says Africa is part of who he is, that makes perfect sense. But Cam is saying something different. He is saying, I'm a black man from America. This is the culture I know. This is where my family has been for generations. And I do not personally identify as African. What is hard to understand about that? Vic says take a DNA test. Fine. The DNA may show that a large part of Cam's history comes from Africa. But ancestry and identity are not the same thing. And if we going all the way back to human origins, modern human beings themselves emerged from Africa. So at some point, we have to decide how far back in history we're going to go to decide who somebody is today. I personally do not call myself an African American. I'm a black American. That's not me being disrespectful to Africa. That is me being specific about the culture and history I come from. My family's story goes back for generations. The food, the music, the language, the churches, the neighborhoods, the struggles, all of that created something distinct right here in America. And people have been debating the words black and African for decades. And plenty of black people still prefer black today. So Vic can't come in here and say your DNA is African, so the case is closed. That's way too simple for a conversation that's complicated.
We was talking about Africa. There's a lot of Africans mad. But I didn't say y'all stink. Even though we talking about stink shit, Vegas stink. It's Americans who stink too. But I never said y'all stink. Why is you clickbaiting talking about I said the people in Africa stink? Because I didn't say that. I was repeating what somebody said. Sin went to Africa and told me people stink.
Now, obviously, this is ridiculously disrespectful and ignorant, but I love Killer. So let's approach this empirically.
Niggas be like, this right here is a fossil that was created in Africa, and we did all the research on it, and it traces back. Saying that I said Africa 6, I didn't even say that. So therefore, how are we supposed to believe which from that you know what's going on 2,000 years ago if you don't know what's going on last week? That's light skin shit. No disrespect, nigga.
Cam caught Vic doing something that I don't like either. Vic said Cam was talking about how Africa stinks, but that wasn't even true. Cam said he was not African, then repeated something Sin said about his trip to Africa. Vic put those two things together and made it sound like Cam went on a rant calling Africa dirty. That's why Cam called it clickbait, and he has a point. If you want to challenge him for saying he's not African, that's one thing. You have plenty to debate without putting somebody else's words into Cam's mouth. And I think that distracted from the more interesting conversation, because there really is a difference between black Americans and people from Ghana, Nigeria, Haiti, Jamaica, or anywhere else. That don't mean one group is better. It means we are not all the same just because somebody looks at us and puts us all under one category. We have different histories, different cultures, different family experiences, and sometimes even different ideas about race. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say every Haitian, every Jamaican, or every Guyanese person thinks the same way, because that would be just as wrong as Vic telling every black American how they should identify. But there is a real cultural distance inside the black diaspora that a lot of people don't like to acknowledge. We talk about black unity like every black person in the world grew up the same way. That's not true. Black Americans have a specific history in America. That experience created its own culture. And I don't think acknowledging that separation is betraying Africa.
Stop, my nigga. Stop telling me what happened 15 years ago, 1,500 years ago, if you can't tell me what happened last week. And I wish I could say I fuck with you too, but I don't know what you do like that. See you on the Shy and look at character. Yeah, character.
He's a good character on the Shy. You give him a look.
They killed him off. They murdered the nigga. Then they murdered the nigga. They killed him off the show. He ain't that good. They keep the good niggas around. Whatever shit he been in.
I don't know.
Exactly.
He been on that Instagram. That shit.
Let's go to
trolling.
let's Google the nigga. You want attention? Let's Google the nigga, man. Let's see what else he said.
Oh, he's gonna be so happy.
Yeah, he gonna be happy. He gonna be happy. What's his name?
Damn, say hello. Mensa.
Okay. I don't like these niggas who look at the camera like this and they mouth.
That's light skin. That is light skin. Oh, my bad, son. My bad, son.
Like this. Niggas be looking like this. I don't like
niggas said the eye squint.
Yeah, eye squint and all that. Let's see. Let's see what he's done. Yeah, oh, I didn't know he was a rapper. He's a rapper. That's what's up.
He want to feature.
Nah, I don't know. I'm just this nigga on LSD. That's what. All right, y'all see what's going on.
Oh yeah, huh? Come on,
yeah,
man.
they caught him with LSD when he tried to come back in the country. Yeah, I ain't gonna argue with a nigga on LSD.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I explained it all. You gotta realize the niggas on LSD, they start getting. Well, the slave owner and then you LSD, nigga, you hallucinating, nigga.
This is also why I think Vic's approach comes off a little preachy to me. He is not just saying, this is how I see my identity. He is basically telling Cam that Cam don't understand his own history. Bro, you can't tell another grown man what he gotta feel connected to. Vic has something Cam may not have. Vic can tell you exactly where his father came from. He knows Ghana. He knows members of his family there. And he has built projects around connecting black Americans to Africa. That's his story. Cam's story may be, my people have been in Harlem, in New York for so long. That's my identity. And there is room for both without somebody having to be ignorant. That is really my problem with a lot of these identity arguments. Everybody wants self-determination until somebody determines themselves differently than you want them to be. If Cam would have said he was African, Vic would have said respect his identity. Cam says he's not African, and now Vic wants to pull out a DNA test. You can't have it both ways.
Camron, he posted up a clip of Vic Mensa's new video where he's dressed up in a wig and lipstick. Camron wrote this comment right here. He said, "Is this you? Leave me alone, bro, until you explain this fake ass activist." It's crazy though, because whoever put this post up of Vic Mensa, it's Kuda Media, they were more concerned about him wearing a Confederate flag dress. Bro, that's the last thing we need to be concerned about when it comes to this video. We need to address, why is he wearing wig and lipstick? I don't care what point he's trying to make. There's a better way to do it. Let me give you guys a little preview of the song. I damn sure don't know you. I never knew you, and I don't want to know you. Now, in case y'all forgot who this Vic Mensa is, he's from Chicago. He mad because he don't get the same clout. He not in the same lane as a Lil Durk or G Herbo. People don't look at him like he a gangster. And most people just remember him for getting that academics, man. I bet he won't try to on academics now.
Tell you the truth, I really think you a bitch because
in what sense?
Because
so yeah, man, he thought this was gonna be his moment, that Chicago was gonna get behind him. But bro, you ain't never went on no drill. You ain't never did no robbery. You ain't never sold no dope. Look like you grew up in a nice house, man. So cut it out, man. And look at the videos you making now. Just chill, bro.
I remember Vic Mensa from Everyday Struggle. And I remember him being very serious, very aggressive, and very sure of himself. Then years later, I saw this, and I remember thinking, man, this ain't the Vic Mensa I remember. Now, to be fair, Vic explained exactly what he was doing in that video. The Confederate flag dress, the makeup, and the whole video were intended as a political statement against white supremacy and as a way of challenging ideas. He has the right to do that. I don't have to like it or connect to it. But there is something ironic about a man spending years telling people not to put him in a box, now getting upset because Cam won't accept the box he's trying to put him in. Vic wants the freedom to say, I can say this, I can wear this, you can't tell me what to do. Cool. Then Cam should have the same freedom to say, I'm a black American, not African. You don't have to agree with him, but why does he need your permission? And that is where I think this whole argument should have ended. Vic can say our ancestral connection to Africa matters. Cam can say his modern cultural identity is more important to him. Both men are really talking about two different things. Vic is talking about ancestry, and Cam is talking about identity. Those things overlap, but they are not identical. My DNA can tell me where people in my bloodline may have lived hundreds of years ago. It cannot tell me what I'm required to call myself when I wake up in the morning. That part belongs to me. So I'm going to take y'all out like this. I agree with Camron that a black American has every right to say they are black American. That don't erase African ancestry. It don't insult Ghana, Nigeria, or Senegal. It simply says that hundreds of years in America created something distinct. And some of us choose to put that history first when we describe ourselves. Vic Mensa has a direct Ghanaian connection through his father. So I completely understand why he's so close to Africa. But that is exactly why he should understand that every black American don't have that same connection. You can't spend your whole career asking people to respect how you define yourself, then turn around and tell somebody else their definition of themselves is wrong. Cam knows what to call himself, I know what to call myself, and the DNA test does not get the final vote on somebody's identity. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. EstablishedRich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.